What's goody, fam?
You're now listening to the sounds of
This Drinks on Me podcast, baby.
What's goody, fam? It's your favorite Cuzzo D.
And your boy DJ G.
And you are now vibing with
This Drinks on Me podcast, baby.
Pull up.
What up?
Tonight, I'm excited as a motherfucker. I got my bro. But I got my bro with me, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Damn near 2 decades in, you know, he called a nigga as a youngin', he looked out for me all through college, he kind of got me through there, you feel me? My
yes,
man,
sir.
Y'all don't know him, but I'm starting to call him the philosophical spiritual politician. And so y'all remember this man's name, because it's gonna make sense when that nigga walk out there like Biden, but a whole lot younger, more like Obama. We gonna stick with the real name.
Right.
The one, the only man, Kawaski Owens.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, man?
It's good, man. I'm good. Blessed to be here. Let's get
it. Glad he on here, man.
He blessed and highly favored. I mean, y'all know the fake beer is coming sooner or later, but right now I'm drinking some brown mixed with. I'm being a little healthy. All right. I'm drinking brown mixed with sparkling ice. Class this bitch has like 5 calories and 0 sugar. So, you know, you got to find the healthy shit somewhere. You know,
there you go, bro. Balance it out.
He's drinking the Aqua Afinas, and Daryl is drinking his Panda concoction.
There you go. Hey, exactly what it is.
So tonight is a very interesting topic. It came from a conversation that me and Big Dog was having when he was like basically, you can't be the greatest version of yourself without somebody hating on you. And in fact, yo, thumbs up to the nigga who hated on our last one, man. Yo,
yeah, please, man, yo,
baby, thank
appreciate
you
it.
on us.
Yes, sir.
But
yes.
It made sense, and I was like, you know what? Really, it's more like that thin line that separates the two. Like, is it really hate? You know what I'm saying? If you take the time, honestly, in my opinion, it takes a lot more energy to hate a motherfucker than it is to just like, let it go. You really got to have something in you. So it's kind of hard to call that hate, in my opinion. You got to fucking love me somewhere. For you to take your time out your day to watch my whole motherfucking episode, which is like 45 to an hour and 30 minutes long, just to put a thumbs down. You stayed there that long. You cared that much.
Yeah.
An hour and a half just to thumbs down my shit.
Yes,
I ain't even got that type of time, nigga. I'm I'm done. I'm good, nigga. Hey, well, I'm good.
Yeah, man, you're right. I mean, look, I can appreciate it so much, though, man. It's been so much going on with this concept just playing out in my life, man, in roles like on the spiritual note, on the skin color. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, even some things that, man, I've been talking to my son about, my oldest son, who, you know, he just started college and everything, man. He coming into his manhood and he's starting to face some things dealing with this too, you know? So it's like, man, you know, it's been hitting me on every level, right? And last night when D was hitting me up, he was like, hey, man, you know, bro, what we going to talk about? And at that time, I really didn't know, even though I was going through all this shit, right? Then I get up and it's like, man, I can hear God telling me, yo, you know, y'all need to talk about, you know, how hate propels you into your greatness, man, how it's got to be there in some form, right? Mm-hmm. Like I looked at like Jesus, right? And I said, what impact would it have had if he wouldn't have been crucified? Like if he wasn't hated on, if he wasn't spit on, what if everybody just believed he was the Messiah? You know what I'm saying? He was working miracles. Would it have had a greater impact? I don't think so, for the simple fact he was doing all the miracles and stuff before that. And it didn't have the impact until he got crucified, mutilated, beat down. You know what I'm saying?
That just fucked up. I know y'all like
it didn't have that amount of impact, which lets you know it's got to be there, right? I mean, I was thinking too, Martin Luther King, right? Now you think of that, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say it wasn't no racism. Would Martin Luther King be Martin Luther King for like what impact would it have if there was no racism at all, right? If there was no we are real color driven people. Everything is color, color. Color even is bigger than our God. Because we start arguing and stuff about, well, Jesus got to be black or Jesus got to be white in order for me to worship. You know what I'm saying? But I think MLK said it best when he said, not by the color of my skin, but by the contents of my character. Mm-hmm. Like it shouldn't be about that. It need to be more about my character, not my color, And I had this conversation with my son because he, like I said, he going through some things, in his manhood, and he fed up with some things. He in that rebellious type tip too, even on the spiritual front, And I was telling him, I was like, do you think that white people came over there and got us because we was black? Do you think that's the reason why? Do you think that when you go to heaven, if you tell, whoever at the gates when we get there, hey, I'm a black man, is that going to get you in? Like, I mean, we so color driven with this, right? Black power, white power, you know what I'm saying? Brown, we got Latino is the brown, but an oppressor put that on you, whether you know it or not, right? It's part of you being oppressed. Okay, the color of your skin. Man, wasn't nobody thinking about that. You think we were sitting over there before they came over there like, man, look, I'm black. I'm a black man. Nobody was thinking about that, man.
When color started coming to play.
That's what I'm saying, though.
I get into that a little later. But for now, what are your thoughts, Giz?
Oh, definitely agree. The interesting thing about societal constructs,
yes,
they exist within societies. So if you had just a race of black people, like we just gonna snap our fingers and make everybody in the world black, we'll still find a way to differentiate ourselves. Oh, well, you're not above 5'5", so you must be the lesser part of humanity because you're not 5'5".
Right.
You can't grow a beard because we're the bearded tribe. And
right.
It'll always come down to a way to segregate and differentiate ourselves and find a way to be divisive, if
right.
you will. So, you get, and this is in any society, you know what I'm saying? Hitler was not black.
Right.
Brown, but he was killing white people by the millions.
Right, exactly.
Because they weren't blonde hair, blue eyed, which he himself didn't possess.
Yeah, he didn't possess. Ain't that something, man?
So it's something to think about. Is this nature? When you get down to it, is this nature about being able to tell ourselves apart? Cain and Abel, if you go back to if you take the Bible as your reference, Cain and Abel were brothers.
Right.
Same parents, same lineage. And because God favored one over the other, it was this divisiveness that happens. And he ended up killing his brother because of attention that was shown differently.
Mm-hmm.
So keep getting that repeating kind of theme. It keeps happening over and over and over again with, you're not like me, so you must be bad.
Right.
You don't think like me, so you must be bad. It not the fact that, hey, you don't think like me, it could progress us forward and get us to ask questions that could take us towards advancements, but it must be bad because, you don't bow down and pray. You stand up and face the east, or you see what I'm saying? Like it's
right.
Good point.
Thinking about things that
both of y'all making good points.
Man, look, I had today, there's no lie. Okay, check this out. All right. So I'm in there with my boss, Diego, my boss.
Oh, God, not this motherfucker. Out of your goddamn boss.
So I got to give you this rundown, man, because this was some heavy shit.
Man, hit that nigga.
I mean, I want to, but I got to accept this hate in. Okay, I got to. It's gonna propel us tonight.
That shit is past hate. That is vindictive. God damn it.
Listen to this shit though, right? Okay, so I'm sitting there, and this nigga says to me, "I don't understand why black people don't act just like white people."
Is he white or black?
No, he black. Now listen,
okay.
listen now, listen. He said we were taught by them, trained by them. We should be like wearing the same, clothes, have the same style. We should be talking like them. All of that. I'm not exaggerating this shit. I'm not exaggerating this shit. This is what he said. And my thought was, I'm like, how you see, like, our last topic we talked about where he brought up how we don't manufacture shit here. I think we do. I think we manufacture some niggas here.
Manufacture the time.
These niggas, look, these type of niggas is made right here in the United States. I said, this is a manufactured nigga right here. Like, for real. Your thinking is that, hey, I need to be just like them. Right?
From here?
That's the greater. Huh? Yeah, he from Alabama. He didn't even know. Look, he didn't even know who John Lewis was.
Are you serious?
No, I'm dead serious. I can't even laugh.
Even if you racist, you know who John Lewis is.
Right. He didn't even know who John. He was like, man, I just have found out who he was, at the time he died.
I gotta drink my fake beer on this. This is amazing.
I said, man, look, I can't say it no better, man. Then it's a trip. Like it really is a trip, man, to see how color even plays a play in that. Like that this dude thinks in order to be successful or to propel in life, he needs to be as white as he can possibly be. He has no identity for himself, like no identity, period.
Psychology calls that acculturization, and it's where the dominant way of being kind of trumps everything else.
Yes.
So even if, if we go to the Amazon right now, we would probably say that those people are not intelligent. They don't possess the same set of skills that we possess, but they are able to take plants from the earth and cure diseases that we can't.
Right.
So how do you mark intelligence? And so what happens in America is that white people have made it to where only their culture is what is viewed. Their perspective is the only thing that's right.
Right.
It kind of killed the rest of culture. And so now the push in psychology is to be multiculturally kind of aware.
Right.
And that, okay, just because this person isn't European or they don't have this Anglo-Saxon point of view doesn't mean that it's less than. And so for him to say that shows,
man,
being kind of like brainwashed into thinking that things like having a grandparent in your home is not, beneficial, because if you go by the white standard of what a family is mom, dad, kids.
Right. Yeah.
But for us, great grandma, grandma,
right,
cousins, auntie,
right.
That's our family, and those things show up in work policies because they'll say that if my aunt passed away, then that's not my immediate family. But it depends on how the dynamic of my family is, because I was raised by my aunt.
Right.
So
exactly.
The aunt to me, she's my mom.
Right.
Hell
yeah, man.
Damn, she hit you with that. Well, that ain't covered.
Man.
What they call that shit that they give you when you get to take leave if someone passed, like your grandmama, your granddaddy, your mama, and your daddy. It's some type of pay. I forgot. It started like a P or some shit, I think.
Dang it. Bereavement.
Yes, bereavement.
When granddad passed and grandma, they like, yeah, you get bereaved. I ain't know shit about it. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, man, look, I need these days off. I ain't give a fuck about none of that. I was like, nigga, I ain't coming. They like, what is it?
Our family is more involved in what they perceive it to be. And if you have friends of the white persuasion,
I got one.
That.
Two.
I mean, look, I got friends that's white. I mean, this ain't against all white people. Okay? That's not. It's just a real fact. It's the facts. Okay, we're putting facts out here right now because in order to understand us better and get past the hatred that you may have, this is shit you need to know. You know what I'm saying? Just like on they tip, it's shit we need to know. Like when I talk to some of my white brothers, man, look, it ain't all about color. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about that. Some shit is about power. I'm making a power move.
Yes.
Like every conversation we have ain't because he racist or I'm racist, is a power play.
True.
You know? Like I was telling my son, okay, do you think that they came over there and got us because we was black? No, they did this to a lot of different races. That was a power play. You know what I'm saying? You motherfuckers gonna come and pick this cotton? Shit, I'm about to manufacture me some niggas right here in the United States. It ain't really had to do with you being black per se. It just was, hey, I know what I could get, you know what I'm saying, to get this done the way I want to get it done. You know, and they done that too. Like you said, Hitler killed millions of his own motherfucking people. Okay, people that really, outside of the not having blue eyes and shit, they look just like his ass. You know, and I was telling my son this too. I was like, hey, if I was a farmer, right, and as a farmer, I would know there are certain things that I can only grow in certain regions in certain climates. Okay. So in me knowing that, right, like you take a white man, right, and you say, okay, well, he has no pigment, no nothing because, he been in that colder region. But if I take his ass and I put him down in the hottest place in Africa, something gonna come. Color gonna come to this motherfucker.
No, he gonna die.
No, he when you think about it, pigment is more so life. Hell, the way he at right now is death. Really, in all honesty, when you die, you start turning ghost color. You feel what I'm saying?
My brother, the legend is that the white apparition that came out of the Caucasus Mountains were black people that went to the Caucasus Mountains and lost their pigment.
And that can be true. Bro, think about it. Think about what you just said.
You take a motherfucking pure white motherfucker, nigga, they die over here from skin cancer. You take Africa.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Okay, but dead. Okay. Now look, D, what you just said though.
COVID, they are dead, nigga.
If you take a black motherfucker and put them in the coldest climate, they gonna lighten up. Like they ain't gonna be like dark. You know what I'm saying? Because they not gonna die. But I'm just saying that to say, it's bigger than that shit. We get so caught, what I'm saying, on color, we get so caught on that, man.
I do. I feel you on that. But see, as you was talking about as far as power plays go, that was the ultimate power play.
Yeah. Yes.
Color did not come into play until like the Roman era. And Anglo-Saxon is a prime example. When you said it earlier, they used that to distinguish beauty, rich, and all that shit. They started putting, because before that, you were defined by where you were, like geometrically.
Right, exactly.
From the Caucasus Mountains, you was from this.
Right.
Land. You was from that land. Like, but when it came into that part of history, they had to find a way to differentiate. Nigga, pretty much, I'm rich, I'm the best, I'm the shit, I'm beautiful. You're not. I'm Anglo-Saxon. I am beautiful.
True.
You're not Anglo-Saxon. Your ass is ugly.
You know what? And you right, D. Okay. But KO, check this out. You don't never see none of that shit in the Bible. You don't see somebody saying, I'm black, I'm white. You don't see that shit. You see, I'm a Canaanite, or, you know what I'm saying, an Israelite.
Right. Geometric.
Like that. Right. Your geography area, you see. But you don't see shit like that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That's not something that's there. Even when the Romans in the Bible, because they in there, we know they there because hell, they was there right around Jesus, right? Whoa. Okay. You still don't see that shit. You don't see motherfuckers like kill that black motherfucker over there. I mean, it's not there. It's a different level to that, man. Like you wasn't being oppressed because you was a Canaanite. You just was a Canaanite. Like this shit, it's oppressive.
Facts. What they did. What I did notice the trend in the Bible was the darker shade of people in the Bible were the ones if they like said it in a way and they gave description of like what you look like, those were the ones that they tried to put like cursed on. Like Cain would be described like they would say that we are or we got what we got with like slavery and all that shit because we are descendants of Cain. Like people would say shit like that.
Right.
It's funny because they would say Jesus got what he got. If you go off the description of Jesus, like, if you just take it, like tat for tat, I don't give a fuck if you blind, deaf, and dumb, like my nigga said off of Troy. Was it Troy? Nigga, you would go to hell, you'll be blind, deaf, and dumb, and they will all know you were the fool who tell us key leaves. You can be blind, deaf, and dumb, but you can read. If you can read, bronze alone kill any type of motherfucking argument. There are no bronze white people. Let's stop right there. They can't even get bronze. They gotta get sprayed bronze, but they get.
That's what I'm saying. They get that spray now. They try to get close, baby.
But I know about the tangerine people. The tangerine person.
Yeah, man.
Sonny Diaz looking nigga. But it's always. But that's what I've noticed. Like when they actually gave kind of a description.
Yeah,
it was always rough, and then they would attach that to, well, that's why y'all go through what y'all go through. Like back in the day, because y'all descendants of Cain, we're descendants of Adam. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. They'll do shit like that, and it's crazy. That's the mind fuck. Even with us against ourselves.
Yeah, it's the mind fuck.
Like the Willie Lynch letters which wasn't wrote by. Yeah, see, they be on that bullshit, but I'm gonna keep going. It was wrote by several people, from what I heard, and then some people say it was wrote by one person. But the Willie Lynch philosophy was, if you get them to go against each other now, and they use color with that, it will trickle down years later, and you won't even have to train them. They will do it themselves.
And that's what's happening.
You see it all the time. This is how light-skinned niggas will do this. This is the ultimate battle when you get it to the end of the Mortal Kombat tower. This is the light-skinned nigga you will face. Like all that stems from there. And I know y'all see, like they had a little Chihuahua dog and shit with the eyes squinting and be like, light-skinned niggas take pictures. And shit like that. So like light-skinned niggas been taking hell from the get-go. They was like, niggas ain't in. And I'm like, God damn, why y'all kick us out? What the fuck?
The greater scheme of that, though, man, is that even though it's a simple trick, it's very effective.
Very.
And you end up fighting each other. And true enough, it seems now that black people are getting the shorter end of the stick. People of color are getting the shorter end of the stick. When you look at it as a whole, as humanity as a whole, everybody suffers.
Yes.
Nobody's winning right now.
Nobody.
We're all suffering because of this one thing that blocks everybody from being a collective.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to the topic, you really can't be your greatest self without haters. In the Bible, we look at the Tower of Babel. It was where everybody, regardless of where you were working on this one thing together, and God was like, nah.
Right. So I got to separate all this.
So there is power even unto God when you work together.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be the one thing that's the one goal that nobody really will focus on, is this spirit of unity.
Yeah.
It moves mountains, literally.
Right.
Question.
We're able to get there.
So I'm not that. I used to be really good with the Bible, but I remember some things. So in the Tower of Babel, everybody was working together.
Yes.
And God was like, "Fuck that! Boom, separate."
Yes. Well, that was a part of it, but it was what they was working towards. You know what I'm saying? That God got offended with because, it was going against him. You know what I'm saying? So he had to separate it. That was another one of them things we brought really on ourselves. It could have been something that, we was building towards God, but we chose to do what man does best. Like Kale just said, look, we don't want to be unified, really. You know what I'm saying? Because I think even in that, there was still a separation because somebody is trying to do it better than the other one.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
Power, then I will be.
Right, exactly. Whoever make it up this motherfucker first. You hear me? That's the motherfucker on top. You know? And it takes God off the place of him being on top. That's why I said when you take color right now in this day, it is even above God right now. Because even God has to be in the form of a color for you to say you truly worshiping him. When, man, look, this skin, you ain't taking this shit in heaven with you.
All right.
This ain't going with you.
No.
You know, it don't matter what color you are, but we can't put him first because color right now is above that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the part, man. It's messed up. Like I said, how distinguished would black be, right, without these hating ass white motherfuckers that do what they do?
It would be a non-factor.
It would be a non-factor, right? It would be nothing. So the very thing, they still oppressing us with that because hell, we say we got to make this a factor. Okay, now it then flipped to where we got to make it a factor. Black is important. You know what I'm saying? But under God, like, I'm colorblind. I'm important. You know what I'm saying? I need y'all to unify because I'm important. But we can't because we like, no, black is important. White is important. Brown is important.
I've been saying to an extent, that's facts. I agree with you to a certain level because you have to face where we at in the world. And bottom line, even though in God's eyes, color is not important, God also gave everybody on this earth free will to feel how they want to feel. And color is important.
But okay, so I agree with you to a certain extent because I ain't got to see God. I don't even have to see him in no form to know that he God and he real. You feel what I'm saying? I don't have to see him, period.
Equation of color is what I'm
saying. No, he's not in the equation. But what I'm saying is, if all of us die right now, none of that's going to be in the equation.
But period. You're not dead. Therefore,
not yet, but hell, we killing each other for that reason.
Color is a big factor. So I see
it's a big factor here.
Looking from God's lens,
yeah.
Color is not, but we're not God.
Therefore, but see, that's the thing. No, I'm not. I get what you're saying. I do, but I'm saying we not trying to be like God per se with that. You know what I'm saying? It's not trying to be. Or even, well, I guess we do need to see through that lens.
That's the issue, nigga. We're not.
Yeah. We need to see. We need to see through that lens.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's the way. You know what I'm saying?
That's the issue. You just hit the nail on the motherfucking coffin when you was trying to figure out what.
That's the way.
The lens of God is what you should look through, but because you don't force nothing upon you, and because there are people with free will and the way that their mind think is, if I can make you believe that color is what really makes this shit rock and gives you power. Color is what's gonna make this shit rock and give you power till you meet your maker. So understand, to the day we die, and the day, nigga, color is the main reason why when the cops pull up behind you.
Most definitely.
Color is the main reason why when your kids out there, your sons, because you got 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them.
I got a lineage, my nigga.
This nigga got a whole lineage. Adam,
I got a tribe, nigga.
But that's the main reason. When your sons get older, that you have to actually have a conversation with them about. If this happens, this is what you got to do. So I feel where you coming from as far as color shouldn't be a factor, but in the reality that we live in, and I can't speak for the future. I can't speak for the future, but because of the way the world has been shaped up to this point. Color plays a major role because that was a major factor in why they are where they at now. That's why a lot of black people back in the day thought Jesus, or didn't even question if Jesus was black or white, because the man who was telling them about Jesus was a white man. And obviously, if this white man can beat my ass, kill my kids, rape my wife, rape me, kill my brother, make me have sex with my sister, and nothing happens to him, the God that he's serving and say I should serve has to be his color. Otherwise, anything that I'm learning from this Bible, it wouldn't even make sense. And since slavery ain't that far behind, that would trickle down from generation to generation. It was taught down from generation to generation to generation till you got to a generation that questioned, like, yo, that shit.
Well, you know what? You know what I told my son and mom this the other day, as a matter of fact, about that whole situation, right?
Makes sense.
Okay, look, wherever there's a bunch of lies, you might be in the right place because it's covering the truth. You know what I'm saying? You might be in
nice.
So what you just said about how, yeah, they could do that to us, you know what I'm saying, manipulate us in that way. Yeah, we lived in a bunch of fucking lies, even them lying to themselves. But hey, we had to be in the right motherfucking place because it's a lot of truth. You just gotta find it. We looking through the wrong lens. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the problem. You're right. We can't get to where we want to be because we looking through a lens that really God ain't intend for us to look through. But we got free will, right? So we gonna do what we want to do, and that is another problem.
Facts, just like these motherfuckers with this countdown. So we gonna throw in a commercial break. We gonna pick up where we left off with God's lens. All right, so y'all enjoy this commercial break. It's gonna be the GC4 5-week trial, niggas. Y'all when we get back.
Yes, sir.
Introducing the GC4 program 5-week trial, which includes online personal training. It's based on what you like to do, customized to your fitness level, and progresses when you progress. Nutrition coaching made super simple. I'm talking 3 steps. No extreme calorie counting and no diets. I hate diets. Life coaching to keep you focused on the big domino, i.e. finding your purpose, fulfilling your purpose, leaving your mark, and wellness consulting to make sure you stay dope and that your mind, body, and spirit stays in homeostasis mode. All that for $20. See, I've been in your shoes. I walk the same miles, and I understand how it feels to put so much time into something only to start back at square one. That's why I had to come up with a program that provided so much value, but didn't tap the pockets and guaranteed results as long as you gave it 120 over 80% effort. Honestly, it's really a no-brainer. I don't even know what you're waiting for.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Go to www.istaydope.com and click on Start Now. If you have any questions, you can hit me up on my business page at The Gumption Effect, or you can hit me up on my personal coaching page, Coach D. Either way, I look forward to chopping it up with you. Remember, it's your life, your purpose, your time. Make the choice to make it count. I wish you nothing but peace, love, light, and prosperity. Let's find your gumption. Be blessed. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Stay dope. We back, goddammit, and of course, you can't look through God's lens yet because Daryl got to tie in another famous boss story. And I wish I could turn this motherfucker over with the company van. So go ahead, brother. What you got for me?
So, okay, another boss story, right? To tie into the lies and deception that we've been given, okay? So, do you know, but KO don't know, okay, that, you know, I had some issues with my pastor at church, okay, who is of the Caucasian persuasion, okay?
Other side of the hand. I got it.
Right, the other side of the hand. And he, you know, did some racist things. And, you know, a lot of people of color, okay, have left the church because of it, right? So today, my boss, in this one-on-one we have, and he was telling me about how he was talking to some of his friends. Now, these is like brothers, like we brothers, okay? They done been with him all his life, you know, and how he was going to stand by the pastor, and he didn't understand how they could be so stupid, you know what I'm saying? Because that's not of God, you know, and he didn't stand by their decision of them leaving. And I said to him, I said, you know what? That's crazy, man. You know, that you would call your own brother stupid because they are offended by something that's oppressing them. You know, I said, okay, you don't know people's background, right? What if what brought me to the church to be healed, what if I was healing from something that was racist? You know what I'm saying? You don't know, right? And now you can't say that it's affecting the other side of the hand. They not being affected like we being affected by this because it's not geared towards them. It's geared towards us, right? So they not leaving. They ain't going nowhere, of course, because it's not pertaining to them. But for us, you mean to tell me you're not going to talk to who done been there by you, you know what I'm saying? And you say you standing by a man who don't even know your name. We in a mega church. He don't know you from the next person over from you. Okay, you probably done shook his hand one time. You could call any one of your brothers and they'll come to your aid. But if you called him, he would look at you like, who in the hell are you? You know what I'm saying? Because he don't even know you. True. Right? Okay, I done shook my pastor's hand. I was telling my wife this earlier. I done shook his hand, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't talk to him. I done served on his team for years. And that man still don't know me. He don't know me by name. If he see me, he don't know me.
Hey, it's Kung Fu Panda. Hey.
I mean, but it's just the point. You think of that, man. But this brother is saying, I'm going to stand by him because that's the way of God.
Sounds like a slave to me.
Yeah, that's a manufactured nigga. Don't it sound like one? Sound like one of me? Made in America in whatever year this nigga was born. Okay? I mean, but the lies and deception, it brings us right back to that. Okay, you done been lied to, brother. So much so that, hey, you willing to sell your soul out for this. Like I love the Lord. I do. But study to show thyself approved. You feel what I'm saying? Like this man, really what you're saying is this man is my God. This is how I'm going to get to him. You know what I'm saying? Because you're willing to stand by him and wrong the people who stand by you. Something is wrong with that picture. I'm not about to sell out. You know what I'm saying? My people, nothing like that. That's just wrong, man. You don't know what these people done been through, man. It's like me telling a woman who done been raped, I'm gonna stand by him, even though, hey, he didn't, said things about raping you.
Oh, goddamn. Well, the moral of that story is just us ain't shit. But I'm so tired of your motherfucking boss. I want to kill him. Goddamn.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Okay, what you think, man? What you think?
A good question for him would be, what is his rule? What is his ruler? What is he to measure the things of God? Because if it's your pastor, and you just hang up going to church right now, it's done.
Right.
God said that he would not have any other God before him. If he's not using his word as a standard, game over.
Man.
The weird thing people don't realize about preachers is that God said, I hold them to a different standard. It's because I expect them to keep my ruler.
Right.
You start using your own psychology as my ruler, then me and you gonna have a big issue. And we seen him kill them, their family. Like we seen him just go down the line whenever they made their rule dominant,
right,
in his eyes. And so that's what I would ask him. Like, man, what is your ruler? What are you using to judge yourself, your family, and then this man of God in front of you? And if it's not the Bible, then why are you committing yourself to this body of worship?
Right. See, and that's just the thing. Like what you said. What is your ruler?
Oh yeah.
Because it sounds like to me that power we was talking about earlier, somebody trying to make a power play to benefit off of something.
Oh yeah.
You feel like if you attach yourself to him and sell out your own, that hey, this is gonna give you power, but that's gonna be the power of the world. You know what I'm saying? That's worldly power.
So
that ain't divine power. You know what I'm saying?
Bible being the ruler, in a lot of cases, if you get the wrong nigga saying it, then I guess you could say that ruler, in my opinion, can it be completely trusted, especially with the Bible that we got, because we missing books. So it's kind of, and then when you get old enough to interpret the things within the Bible, like one of the big things for me, and we talked about this before we even went on, when I was like, the way we're taught is that the Lucifer, or Lucy as I call him, is
No,
just
man.
the in all outs of like just evil. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like that's the motherfucker. Get the fuck back. Let's dump the fuck down. Don't just fuck that nigga. Like he the ultimate
No.
ex
No.
kind of like. But then if you look back, it was like he was the greatest angel, right? Greatest angel, adored before Jesus even came into the New Testament. He was adored, right? But he got too high and mighty and wanted to be God, according, then he got kicked out, right? But he didn't get killed. He didn't get eradicated. He didn't get like exterminated. Now, if God of all gods, I'm just posing the question, me, Daryl, we talked about this. God of all gods, here is the ultimate evil. Here is the headache you will have for the eternity. You banish him from heaven, but you don't eradicate this motherfucker. You send him here and let him rule. And give him an opportunity to come back and take over if enough people fall to the wayside. You wage bets on your top dogs, Joe.
Yeah.
You will sit there. You let the nigga back in to wage a bet.
Yeah.
Now be like, hey yo, guy, what you want?
What?
Bro? What you want?
Look.
Bro? I bet I can get that.
What
motherfucker
if?
not
What
praise
if?
you.
What if?
I bet I can get that nigga not pray. What you want to bet? I bet 15 shackles and a pint of goat's milk. I can get that motherfucker to not praise you.
Hey,
All right,
D.
go for it. Let's see. Kill the nigga, whole family, kids, job, gone. Like that's the ultimate. Like, goddamn, God. Shit.
Just slicing stuff.
Look, it's what if I posed the question that he never left?
Then that would
You know,
eradicate
it talks
everything
about-
that we read
it
after
talks
he got
about-
kicked out.
Lucifer being a son. Like you got, we talked about this before, D.
Well,
Okay,
his
you got the
name
good
is
son,
literally
you got a
Morning
bad
Star,
son.
equal
Yeah,
to
he
the
was
son.
right. Okay, him being a son, and God telling us to love our enemy. Okay, to love thy neighbor, you know, to love, period. God ain't never said you need to hate somebody. He ain't never said that, right? Okay, so we say, oh man, we stomping on the devil's head and this and that. But what if he ain't never left? Like you said, he was up there talking to God in heaven, okay, about Job. Then the other thing is, okay, evil wasn't found here. It was found in heaven. Okay. And it didn't say that Lucifer created it. It wasn't said he created it. Now I said
Well,
it
he
was
couldn't
found
create it.
in him.
God said he created it though.
Right.
It's in
God
the
said,
text. Y'all
I
might
made
know
both
it.
things
He said
in
the good and
Ecclesiastes.
the bad.
Yes,
I
the
don't know
good
exact
and the
text.
bad.
I don't know the exact scripture. I'm pretty
It's
sure
in
y'all do.
Ecclesiastes.
But I know
Okay.
it said though, I created
Yes.
the good and the bad.
As I say.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
It is. Yeah.
It's there.
So
He said,
that
I created
poses
them
questions.
both.
That poses questions when you get older because then it's like, well, shit. Like when you like get out here and you understand certain things, you understand how you would handle it. I'll put it to you like that. If when you get old enough to understand how you would handle a situation, you'll look at it like, yo, how am I all powerful, almighty, and I know my enemy. I can just eradicate this nigga, but I just kick him down to earth and let him free reign.
Man,
I literally
look.
give him like his own kingdom.
Look,
instead of killing him.
let's take David. Let's take David. I love using David. I love using David, right? Let's take David. Okay. A man after God's own heart. That's what they call him, right? He that guy. Okay. Yeah. But David runs into this one predicament, man, that just stands out to me every time. Okay. All right. I got a man that's devoted to me. He loves me. You know, I'm his king. I got 100 wives, concubines. Okay, I'm here, David. I'm the man.
Yeah, David got to be your nigga. That sounds like your life.
I'm anointed. Okay, I'm all of that. Okay, everybody knows me. You know, I'm a superstar, baby. Okay,
Definitely sound like you.
He is the superstar of that day. I don't care what nobody say. David is the superstar of his day. Okay. But then he runs into, I got this man devoted, to me. I know he loves me. They ain't got nothing to do with his color, nothing like that. Ain't even got to do that. I hate him. But he got something I want. And that wife he got, I gotta have her. You know what I'm saying? So I need to put this nigga on my front line, even though I know without a doubt, he gonna get on the front line for me. Because he has pledged that he would die for me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And David uses it to his advantage. Does he not, Kale? He uses it to his advantage. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to put him out here on the front line. I need you to handle that battle for me, not knowing the real plot that sits in the back. Sure. Okay. Now, you can't put it past God because God see everything. God's sitting there like, I made this nigga a superstar. Right now? All right. We really about to go this route. Look, he's saying this before. Is he really he gonna go this route? Okay, well let's this is interesting. Okay, because I done gave the nigga everything he got. 100 wives, he got 100 concubines, and he still want to go this route. That let you know Bathsheba was a bad girl. But anyway, coming back to the story. Okay. He puts him out there and the man gets killed. Okay. Now, Nathan, right. Nathan, the prophet, comes in there and he tells David a story about a man who had one sheep and then another man who had a multitude. Of sheep. And he said how this man went over to David, you ain't gonna believe it, but this man went over there and he took that one man's sheep and David went ham. Off. We need to kill this motherfucker right now. Sorry, piece of shit. Right. He needs to be cut. Right. He needs to be cut the hell down right now. And then Nathan said, oh, that's interesting. Because you the one. You the one. Conviction fell over David right then and there because he knew exactly what Nathan was talking about. He knew you couldn't put it past God. Man, I have failed. Okay. And his firstborn was killed because of it with Bathsheba.
Yeah. No matter how much he cried and repented.
No matter how much what he did. And I think it went something like he said, I thank you for the affliction in his prayer after he got past all that because it wasn't nothing he could do. The deal was sealed. Yeah. Okay, but it's the same shit that we doing now, and we try to blame it on like Lucifer, but no, no, that goes back to your free will choices. True. That goes back to, but still in that, right? Okay. He hated to be great. And David became even more fucking great after that. Right? Bathsheba gives birth to Solomon. Sure. Solomon becomes the next great, the wisest. And look, Solomon do some of the same shit. He even take it even further. I'm going to worship pagans. Come on, KO. Come on in here, man. You niggas don't learn.
I guess Solomon would be considered the first thought.
Yeah, you can't go blame that on Lucifer, man. Okay, he is not the ideal of hate. He not. It was found in him, just like hell we didn't found it in us, and we tend to try and find it in others. We do it. True. We seek that shit out.
Is a better word, maybe? Punisher.
No.
Yeah. Well,
he's the punisher.
Who was that guy talking to when he told him? I think it was Job when he said, "I make vessels for honor." No, it was Paul.
Paul.
He told him, "I make vessels for honor and dishonor, and it's not really up to you to decide which one I choose to be with."
Yes.
So my car can't get mad because I didn't make it a broom.
Right.
The purpose was to be a car. It gets me from point A to point B. So when it ceases to, live up to what it was designed for, I traded in.
Right. Exactly.
Satan's purpose was to do what God created him to do. And what I need you to do is test my people, because at the end of the day, I need to know where they stand. I've given them a gift that they don't understand because they're not mature enough in my wisdom to know, but I need to know whether what I put in them is producing good or is it a bad seed. So
it goes with what you said. Every great man in that Bible has had to be tested. It's no way around. And it has nothing to do with Lucifer.
Even Abraham.
Be tested.
Hell, God tested Abraham, said, nigga, kill your firstborn.
Kill your firstborn. Look, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. We're going to put you in this furnace. Daniel in the lion. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, the stories go on and on. Ain't no great without that hate. None. Right. It's
even
none.
With Cain and Abel, he didn't disintegrate Cain. Look, he sent that nigga to a whole island that just miraculously had other people on it.
Look, Adam and Eve, they got tested too, whether they know it or not. You know what I'm saying?
And he didn't kill them.
That's about the very thing he asked for.
But what would God be, right? He tell you one of his commandments is thou shalt not murder. You know what I'm saying? Thou shalt not kill. So I'm not about to kill you for what you did. I'm gonna use you to be
Old
great.
Testament guy got down. He was like Joe Jackson, motherfucker.
Oh yeah. Now, but see, you gotta think that's for them people.
Nigga.
That's for them people, D, that no matter what, they just would not worship God. You know what I'm saying? They would not. Like
that nigga flooded.
Yeah. But that was them people. Think about it. The only person he could find in that time was Noah. That's it. It's saying in the Bible. That was the only one he could find. Think of that shit. You got a whole world of people that you didn't make, and the only being that you can find is Noah.
A drunk.
Noah. That's it. Think of that, man. Millions of people. We got billions of people on this planet. Could you imagine just being one?
This is for Noah. Let me hold it. This is for you, Noah.
You know, I bet you Noah had to be drunk in a world like that shit.
Noah, what you doing? I'm building a boat.
This
big ass boat. I'm gonna have a
baby.
bunch of motherfucking animals. And one woman, one kid, two kids. And y'all
I love the Bible. I do. And I think the stories in the Bible and the examples that we see are very good
parables.
Tools. You know, to trying to, I can look at it and say, okay, this is similar to something that I'm dealing with now. And they made a mistake by doing this. And that's kind of similar to what I want to do. So let me not do that.
Right, right.
But at the same time, I refuse to put God in my box and say that, oh, well, it didn't happen like this in the Bible, so therefore it can't be true. I just don't believe, I'm not one of those people that believe that you could sum up everything about God and who God is in a text.
No, you can't.
I love that. I love that because at the
Does
end
not
of the
exist.
day, God didn't write the Bible.
Yeah.
Man,
you know, you can't.
Interpreted it. And I have a question. Maybe y'all can help me because I was thinking about this. The way, even when it comes down to the names that they use to describe, he went from Lucifer, the morning star, to the devil, to Satan. Could it be perception of who was actually writing the book at the time?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, most definitely.
You see what I'm saying? Because when I went to the New Testament, it's the same story. It's just retold by the different people, like different disciples. You got Mark, you got Luke. You see what I'm saying? But it's the same recollection, just from a different perspective.
Look at it like this, D, okay? With what you just said, in every level, they done gave him a different name, right? Okay, but they also then painted a different picture. Way different than the way he's described. He described as the prettiest motherfucker. They never said he lost that when he left. Okay, they never said that he lost being pretty when he was cast out. That was one of his punishments. That's right. That's not one of his punishments. Even when you get to Ezekiel, God still talks about Lucifer as being perfect. His pipes was perfect. Okay, like that doesn't take. Only thing it says is that evil was found in him. That's it. It doesn't take away. Okay. But us as people, we didn't painted the picture of him having horns. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't none of that shit. He'd be the prettiest motherfucker that walk up on your ass, and you be like, "That is God."
The way you just looked
That's
at
God
it,
damn,
that
man.
was priceless.
Look, that's probably what David saw when he saw Bathsheba. Okay, because he ain't thinking, okay, of the pictures that we didn't painted. We didn't painted these satanic. Really, I think that whole sadism shit is something created by man. You know, because it's not saying that God is creating that.
True.
Hey, in the Bible, did it ever say that God hated the Lucifer?
No,
I'm
No.
asking.
no, you never see that.
And for the niggas who listening, no, I'm not pushing you to.
No. I mean, it's just the
look at
truth. If you
Lucifer
study
any
it for
other way that you
yourself.
want to, but I am questioning your perspective if you're basing it off of what you've been taught. Because if you're basing it off what you've been taught, you can actually go off of, well, he's just like the bad seed or bad son in your motherfucking family. Your father might not want to kick the nigga out, but he got to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said that earlier too. I can't speak from personal experience because I don't have kids, but both of y'all are fathers, and I don't care what your kid does. You know, you could talk about like I didn't raise you that way, and I didn't teach you those things, even though they didn't walk into a church and blasted innocent people. That's still your kid,
Right.
So you know, so how much more love does God have? You know, and I'm not trying to limit him to anything that we feel on a human nature level, but to create something, to really create, and to know that that thing is living to what you design it to, because nothing should catch him by surprise. How?
No, it doesn't. That's the thing. It doesn't.
That's actually a good statement. That ain't even the question.
Yeah.
It's a good
See,
statement.
It's like I love you and you're doing what I create you to do, but you also have to live up to this purpose as well, and that's to be separated from me from a period of time.
God doesn't create you to abandon anything.
Truly.
Okay, that's another one of them choices we make.
Yeah.
Okay, it's due of many things. Fear. You know, we some niggas just, hey, I'm not ready, and some niggas like, fuck that, I ain't doing that shit. Period. You know, and the abandonment comes in, but that's not how God structures things to be, man. He don't abandon us on anything.
True.
We could become distant from him by choice, because we trying to bring him down to this level. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, I'm guilty, so God got to feel this way about me. You know, he got to feel the way I'm feeling about myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When the thing about that is God is not a reflection of you, you're a reflection of him. You feel what I'm saying?
Good.
Like it's not that same thing. So what I feel, okay, is I know y'all done heard the statement, okay, feelings ain't factual. Okay. They a lie to you. We go back to them lies again, okay? And that lie, I mean, hey, it's a truth there too. Truth be told, hey, God ain't about that abandonment. You know, I ain't about to abandon you. I ain't abandoning nobody. I might, hey, wipe a world out, but I ain't abandoning it. I'm just gonna create a new one, you know.
Well, goddamn.
You know, God ain't abandoned Jesus when he was being crucified, and Jesus knew it. You know what I'm saying? He talked to him all the way up until he died and after, you know. So,
well, you know, it was that one point when he looked up and said,
but that was a man characteristic. That was a man characteristic, because Jesus knew he wasn't being forsaken now.
But I told you of interesting philosophy before this. I don't know if this countdown coming out, but I don't give a fuck. Interest philosophy that was the Gnostic philosophy when it came to that. I think I talked about that before. It's very interesting. I'm not saying it's true. Thumpers. I know I'm in the Bible, but you thumpers. I thump y'all ass. I went to a black high school. I mean, in a black high school, I thumped you. Thump. So anyway, their philosophy is very interesting. I like the way they do what they do, even when it comes to how they do Old Testament and New Testament. But I'm just gonna go with the New Testament. They say that Jesus was literally the way they look at it is he was a man who was not possessed, but I don't know, was a vessel. He was just a vessel for God to come back down. And I would have to go back. Okay, so the God of the Old Testament was a creation from the ultimate God. The way that they say it. And sorry, Nancy, if I get it a little wrong, but guess what? Yeah, niggas can read. Anyway, he was like how when you light a match and a spark pop off the match. That's what created the God of the Old Testament. The ultimate God was just sitting up there being himself. He accidentally created this God, and he was just out there in the universe on his own, right? And then it was like, yo, he wanted to do what came natural, which was create. And he's the ones who created the world. And they say that God, which I think they call the false God, was why he was so angry if you didn't worship him, because he didn't know where he came from, and he didn't want you to worship nobody else but him, because he wasn't even sure how he was created. Then when they get to the New Testament, I just did that to get to the New Testament. The New Testament was the actual God coming down and using Jesus as a vessel to reconnect his people and let them know that, hey, I ain't like that. This ain't even what it's about. This ain't what that ain't it. This is it. And when it got to that point where you like, why have you forsaken me? He actually left and went back up. What he said, well, at that point, that's when he left and said everything was proven at this point. Everything had came to the point where I needed to come to, I'm out. And then you're like, why have you forsaken me? And then when you saw the spiritual side, that was him just coming back in order for you to see him how you were able to interpret him. His disciples were able to interpret him when he came back after the fact. It's like, yeah, I ain't really leave y'all. I gave y'all everything y'all needed. I just wanted to show y'all the real version of what I am, not what you've been getting. It's very interesting. Not saying it's true, but it is worth the read.
Well, what if I put a spin on that, D, and I say that Lucifer was that first false god created?
Shit, I don't know.
I mean, it sounds just like him, right? It sounds just like him. Really, I think one of his main intentions was he wanted to create. I mean, he was, okay, you say he's the light bearer. That's what his name means. Lucifer, light bearer. Okay, he was the man, really right-hand man. Okay, at a point, he was the one. All the light came through him. He was the worshiper. He was the one, right? But the thing he couldn't do was create. So what if he was the one, you know? And look, I always go back to the garden episode, because the serpent went to the woman first, the woman being the one that life is created in.
Yo, they have another outlook on that too. They're saying that the serpent wasn't Lucifer. They say it was another spirit called Sophia. It was like it started with an S. I can't remember the name of the feminine spirit, but it came down. It wasn't dealing with like sexual, how most people connected to sex. It was really dealing with knowledge. And she came down because you were like, yo, because it was apparently, you know, they say it was a false god, and she wanted to have the knowledge of what was really out there. It's interesting. That's all I can say. Like, if you read it,
I mean, look, man,
I got the Audible. If you listen to it, it'll have you like,
I mean, but check it, right? Okay, now biblically they say not just Lucifer fell, but a third of the angels fell with him, and the third, that's like millions. Okay, that's not a little small number. Okay, theology is, you know, they talk about, man, millions falling with him. But did they really? But did they really fall?
I say they fell to earth.
Okay, you got something found in you, and you know, God, like, all right, you know, we look at that like, all right, he burnt up in flight on the way down, you know, and all the angels, they became these demonic looking beings, you know what I'm saying? They fell from their godly like bodies, you know, and I mean, it's a bunch of questions, but God don't mind them questions, because in them lies, he is hoping you would seek the truth. You know what I'm saying? Define for yourself. I think that's the biggest thing of when he say, study to show thyself approved. Study me. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind your questions. I don't mind none of that, you know, but bring it right here and let's really talk about it. And then we gonna test it. Okay, because you got to know, hey, this going to be tested now. This going to be pressed until it's shaped into whatever it needs to become.
Okay, well, let me pose a question. Another one. Could it be, hypothetically speaking, that God, when he created, God created angels too, apparently. So maybe he created in the same way he created humans with like the option of good and evil. And he was just waiting for who possessed the evil part first. And then that's when he was like, found the nigga who was able to be evil.
Right.
Like, what if it was present in all of them? Michael, Raphael, all of them.
Who's to
But
say it
Lucifer
wasn't?
happened to be the one that
Wait a minute.
went that way. And he was like, I got you, nigga. I done figured it out.
Wait a minute,
Cast your
though.
ass out and everybody who will follow with you.
God already knew evil. That's why when he could easily spot it.
I know God.
You know what I'm saying?
As far as his creations go, he was trying to see which one would do it.
That
first.
makes sense. Yeah. And Lucifer stood out like
And
he
that would be the nigga
always
that he
did.
know, I gotta kick this nigga out. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
he
saying?
stood out like I always did. You
Like
know
a
what,
game of
boy?
Clue,
I knew it was gonna be you, boy. I knew it was gonna be you.
I knew it was this nigga.
We all have this innate tendency to kill.
Yes.
Some people have a very low threshold, like something as simple as stepping on my shoe is warrant for you not to live on this planet anymore.
Who?
And then some people have a really high threshold, like you gotta come in and kill my family, and then that warrants you not being on this planet anymore. So I think threshold to be self-centered first. Who is going to question my authority first? Which one of my kids is going to look at me and say, "Why can't I?"
Yo, that's perfect.
Look. I got to comment on that because I was thinking that from the time he started.
That shit up.
Wait a minute, hold on. From the time he started that, this was my next question for y'all. Okay, you got a son, all right, and that son, he sees you all the time. Your son stand proud, like my baby boy stand proud, looking up at me, right? Okay, I remember when he was born, his mom was like, he is gonna look up to you. You know, and I remember feeling like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? My son gonna look up to me. Yes, I'm gonna do it. You know, I'm gonna show him how to be a king. You know, I'm gonna show him how to, you know, what if Lucifer was that same way? Like, not I want to take your place, but I look up to you so much, I want to be just like that.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? Think of that now. Lucifer says saying, I want to be just like you, my father. Like my son looks at me and say, he even told his grandma, I want to be in the IT field like my daddy. Okay? Right?
Woo. Yeah.
That's kind
Right?
of deep.
And it ain't to say that you know, bad things ain't gonna happen, ain't no evil gonna be found in my son, because he do little shit, you know, the kids do shit, you know, but they considered at this stage, they considered at this stage, you know, the innocent.
Mm-hmm.
But what about when they're innocent?
He a good one.
Right, but when they're innocent, I'm just saying
about your seeds.
I'm saying, period. People seeds, period. At this age, they consider them the innocent, right? But when the innocent leaves, like Lucifer was older, right? What if he was at my son's age though?
Well, hey,
and he was looking up and he said, "We don't know, right? We don't know." But that's what I'm saying, man. Look, KO, you hit that spot on, man. It sparks so much because I'm like, you can see that, and we judge Lucifer and create him to be this, and this. But really, in all honesty, I looked at my dad, you know what I'm saying, and was like, man, you know, at certain points in my life, hey, I want to be just like this nigga. And I didn't care if he was the biggest thug, you know what I'm saying? I had homies who looked up to their dad, they was the biggest drug dealers.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? But that's something you inspired to be when you have a father. You know, it's like part of that rite of passage. You know, I'm going to be a man like you someday. And then you have those who don't have fathers and they attach to anything that's father-like.
Yeah.
And on that note, because this bitch doing a countdown, we got one more of these in us niggas. And then we gonna get this motherfucker up. So, Zoom be on that bullshit, y'all. I'm just gonna let y'all know. If y'all do it, Zoom, let me let y'all know some information. Them motherfuckers, since 2020 Corona hit, they want to put timelines on niggas. But that's okay, though, because I know how to get around this shit, bitch. You ain't going to make me about this shit. I'm a smart motherfucker, okay? So we going to do this kick out one more again. And we're going to come back in on this fire-ass topic. See, I knew this was going to be one that was going to go long. This is going to be about almost an hour, 2 hours. But guess what? If my hater, I hope you out there, that one nigga who didn't like it. I hope you listen the whole motherfucking 2 hours. Calm this shit down.
Invite the rest of them.
We're going to come back and we're going to pick up right where we left off. This is getting good, goddamn it. I can tell. It's good. We're going to be right back after this small little break. So y'all motherfuckers just stay tuned.
A few moments later.
And we're back, god damn it. We picking up where we left off at with maybe Lucifer was just trying to be like his pops. Which
Yo.
Possible.
It's a possibility.
Possible. And we looking at this thing from a point of like I was telling y'all earlier, a parental standpoint. I don't understand that love because I don't have kids, but at the same time, I wouldn't want somebody to love me strictly out of fear.
Right.
Like if you love me, then you love me because of who I am, not because of what I might do to you if you don't.
Right.
So why do we put God in this same predicament?
That's a fact.
That is big fact, man.
Like, if we don't do X, Y, Z, then God, is gonna cast us out. He don't really want a relationship with you if that's how you think about. I wouldn't.
Right.
And
but God ain't like that.
Say that.
Like that.
You know what?
He never put it that way. Hell, he even gave you a free pass to repent.
Right. Exactly.
That's the ultimate free pass, nigga. That's a hall pass.
And if you ain't careful, people will tell you that you'll run out of them.
Right. People will tell you that. The lies they tell, boy.
People will tell you, if you go to church with jeans on, your ass is underdressed.
Right. If you in there chewing gum, okay? Man, look, you heard it all. You wear a hat.
With thin line your ass to death. They be like, hey, man, you can't come up here with them jeans and t-shirt on, let alone Jesus came in that bitch with a shawl and some sandals.
Right.
Like,
and
hey,
his thing, temple was just temple. It wasn't even like a formal service. It was just people walking in and out praying at different times.
I just want you a picture these church, real church with the church hats and the church suits and all that shit. Imagine if you walked up in that bitch with a sandal that was laced up to your knee and a shawl. Imagine what you think would be said to you when you walk through that motherfucking door. They're gonna be like, you got the wrong building, son.
Hey, don't forget you gotta have your shepherd's cane. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
gotta have a rod, baby.
You got your shillings. You need your 15 silver shillings in there too. What if you gave tithes and shillings? Imagine if you had a shilling and they said pay tithes. And you went in your shilling satchel and you gave them 2 silver shillings. What do you think they gonna do? What is this shit, sir? I mean, son.
What if you gave your tithes and like food for people who didn't have it?
Bro,
see, look, we done talked about that
already.
We didn't already talked about that.
We do that already.
Yeah, we actually do that.
One about that. We do that already.
Man, you got to go back here and watch that episode because we went in deep on that topic.
Oh, yeah, I'm going.
How tithing in the Bible wasn't related to just money.
It wasn't.
As a matter of fact, tithing in the Bible, I don't think was really ever really related to money. It was more so like livestock, produce, stuff like that. Man created that idol to idolize themselves. So how could money ever be important when you putting your face on? You never see Jesus on no money. You ever know that? You never see Jesus on money.
But you see a God we trust. But y'all,
you see a God we trust. He get that little bitty point there. But you see George Washington, you see all of them.
You see God on the back of the dollar bill.
Right. Why
God
we
be
ain't?
trust for you niggas to give me that money.
Hey, look, and then they'll fight about that. But y'all ain't never put Jesus on no money
Bro, what if you saw
ever.
Jesus on a dollar bill? What would you do? Like Dogma. You ever seen the movie Dogma? That's my shit.
They
Dogma
gonna
is hilarious.
call the police. That's what they gonna do because you need the money.
This shit is counterfeit.
Frankly,
Damn it.
let me get that Jesus out you, bro.
Shit,
That
this
nigga
shit
owes
got
me a
you.
G.
He tried to pay me in Jesus dollars.
Officer available because they
Right. Nigga, you done broke the law. This is counterfeit money.
I'm start paying niggas in shillings and porridge.
Hey, look, that's true though. Look, they do it, they would
Cream of
do
wheat.
it like that's
Yeah,
counterfeit
some cream of
money.
wheat. Hey,
Just
what
like
if we went to church and put a pack of cream of wheat in that motherfucker? It'd be like,
you'll know real quick whether God is actually in that place.
I'm
hey,
trying
I
to
ain't gonna
tell
lie,
you.
that's how I test homeless folks. I offer them food before I offer them money.
Yeah, man.
You'll know
Yeah.
real quick.
Been lying, baby.
All I'm saying is money will become counterfeit just like they thought he was a counterfeit Messiah.
See, and that's another thing is that you said it earlier. If everybody would have really been on board with Jesus being the Messiah, would it have been a really big impact if only the Roman soldiers were like, "Oh, well, he fake."
Exactly.
What I'm saying?
Right.
What impact would that have had? And I don't think he ever would have made it to the cross.
No.
Because the people would have revolted to the point of straight overhaul. Like they would have wiped Rome dry.
Yeah.
There would be no more Roman soldiers if everybody believed that he was Messiah.
Yeah.
But the people that had to reject him had to be the very people he came to.
Yes.
You know what's more interesting to me on that one? There's two things. One is going to be a question that I posed, but this one right here is just what's more interesting to me off that story. No matter what he did that was impossible, it's like, how much shit can you do to show who you are? And that plays a fact. My man brought a nigga back from the dead. Blindness. Fed 5,000 people with a loaf of bread and some fucking fish.
Turn water into wine.
I'm just naming a few things. He cured leprosy.
Yeah.
He built furniture, nigga. He can make you a couch. A chair. So
all of it.
And he was born without fucking. He was
Right.
He was conceived with no booty getting got.
But that could be answered in a meme I saw maybe 10, 15 years ago. And it simply said, when you dislike a person, anything they do becomes a point of anger.
That's it.
And they had a little girl eating a sandwich. And they was like, look at this eating this cracker.
That brings me to my next point. How much influence do you have to where you have so much power? This is probably when color and mind manipulation come into play. You have so much power as a normal motherfucking person that you can convince all these people that the Messiah, God reincarnated. You a normal nigga. And I'm convincing all these people that God ain't God.
Well, you know what? A lot of that was fear. That was fear driven. You know what I'm saying? It was a fear of if he is the true Messiah, then damn, what does that mean for me? You know what I'm saying? I'm about to lose. Look, I'm about to lose money. I'm about to lose estate. I'm about to lose. You see a motherfucker that these rich motherfuckers, they the prime example of that.
Yeah, like
when you got everything on the line, I'm about to lose it. Oh no, I ain't about to lose all my shit. You know, he about to be counterfeit today.
And here's the funny thing. here's the funny thing, right?
Fake.
This is the question that I posed after that. This is just the theory. What if when Jesus went out the night before all that shit went down, because he knew Judas was gonna double cross him?
Yeah.
Top, right?
Yeah.
He still broke bread with my nigga. He still ate with my nigga. He still kissed my nigga with the Godfather kiss. But he did go out there and pray just to double check. Like, yo, do I really gotta do this shit?
Yeah, he did. He did, man.
Blame him, no.
I ain't doing this shit. What happens then? What if like, you know what?
Fuck them.
I'm not doing this shit. Either. Y'all niggas on y'all finna go on the
Wait a minute. But D, okay, what you just said, man, I'm pretty sure it was a moment like that when every time he went to go pray, he came back and they was asleep. Like I told you, motherfuckers, to stay up. Okay? You can't even stay up with a nigga, you know.
Jesus walking on. Oh, I forgot about that. He calmed the storms.
Right.
He walked on motherfucking water. It's like, nigga, one of you niggas walk on water in front of me, I might like double feet, drop kick your ass just to make sure I ain't tripping. And then I'm like, this nigga walked on motherfucking water. Oh, hell no. This nigga walked on water to the boat, got in the boat, and calmed storms. He's like, yo, peace be still. Nigga. Whatever you need me to do, nigga, it's rocking. Because, you know, I my biggest fear is weather. I got niggas that control the weather around me. I'm dying for you, bro. I'm the big thing off Blue Hill Avenue. I'm dying for you, Tristan. Let's go.
Three things. And I've seen these crop up. School, church, just randomly talking to people at the barbershop. Three things. You said that how was it so easy for them? How much power did they have to make Jesus seem like a fake? Where you had people that had been snatched away from their own land, been taken over by these outside forces because they didn't keep God's word. So they are afraid. God said, don't become drunk. They took it even further. Don't drink. See what I'm saying? They built these safety nets over God's entire law. And so for them, I'm not willing to accept anything that ain't cracked open from the sky. And God said, this is me.
Right.
And
that's how they were. Yeah.
We're in this predicament now because we refused to see who he was. So they were afraid. So Jesus didn't come the way that they thought God would send them, and they just rejected it out of fear because no, we didn't try this before. We had false gods before, and this is where we are now. We've been enslaved. We've been driven out of our home. Our wives, our children have all been like we've just been overtaken by these people. Second thing, with people, man, the easiest thing, in order for me to justify you mistreating somebody, I have to become numb to the fact that they're a person. And we see that happening now with black people.
Yes, sir.
The police shot him because he was running away. But our law says that you're innocent until I can prove you guilty.
Right.
If I can justify that you were doing something wrong, then I don't feel it's bad for you getting shot. Well, he stole a bag of chips. So you mean to tell me we can kill people for stealing a bag of chips now?
Right.
So if I can become numb to the plight that you're a person, then I can justify mistreating you. See what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir. I mean, third, go ahead,
Kay. You just said with dang, what'd you just say about in the beginning? I wanted to say at the beginning. Dang, what'd you just say? And it was a really good point. It was about that paper I was telling you to read. This guy, he was pretty much saying that human psychology is a weird construct because we use experiences that we have ourselves, and then there is like this DNA history that's been passed down that we're not even aware of, but we operate off of it. So
you talking about when I was talking about slavery, how the teachings are like how it wasn't that far behind, so it was passed down.
Right. So you fear darkness not because of your own experience.
Right.
You fear darkness because our ancestors feared it.
Right.
Because it posed a real danger.
See what you just said, right? Okay, I was just thinking while you was talking, it took me back to the conversation we was having about Lucifer. How even though God tells you to study, okay, you know, to show thyself approved, right? We never studied Lucifer. We just go off of what everybody then said, what's been generated over time, the lies that's been told, but we never really study that. You know what I'm saying? We never go into depth with that like we doing right now, you know? And then there is a fear there because people don't even want to touch it. They want something to be there that is an adversary no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, they putting up them, you know, wall. You know, but you guard yourself also from the truth. It becomes a prison for you. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't put myself in here and threw away the key. I ain't coming out. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't even want to know that. You know, and then all this stuff is painted. Like you always hear about people who's when they get put in solitary confinement, how their mind start going.
Because you're not supposed to be alone.
Right. You start creating stuff. Really, we all in some point have been in that place to where we didn't confine ourselves in this room. We didn't put up so much around us that now our mind is just, man, it's running. It's running. And it's running not on what's true. It's making shit up. Think about it, man. Even when you lay down, you have a nightmare, shit like that. That ain't shit. You wake up like, woo, man, I'm glad that shit didn't happen. Because your mind is constantly running.
Nigga, I have
You know what I'm saying?
several nights.
Yeah. You might, okay, perfect example. You might watch, especially kids, watch some shit like Nightmare on Elm Street, some shit like that. Nigga, everything in your house then start creaking. You know what I'm saying? A wall start cracking. Nigga, you hear anything that's scraped. Nigga, it is a nightmare in there. You hear me? Your mind, man, it's like you said, it is a tricky place, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, used to fuck me up. Was that when that little Grange bitch used to come fuck with me when I call it a little Grange bitch, but when you have sleep paralysis, when you can't fucking move.
Oh man.
Oh man,
yeah, move. And
yeah.
Wait, but you can't even. But you just be like.
Yeah.
You trying your best to fall the fuck out of bed, or or scream, nigga. That's why I'm so good at talking inside my head, nigga. I used to pray so motherfucking hard. I wake up like, I pray so motherfucking hard in my head. Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far away. I'll be like Jenny in this bitch. Dear God, make me a butt so I can fly far away. That used to be the worst shit ever in life. I'd be like, oh God, this
I guarantee you, even in that, our first mindset, and I catch myself for doing this. My first mindset when I'm faced with issues or faced with problems or anything that scares me, I don't question. I don't ever go to God with it.
No.
I look everywhere under the sun.
Yes, you're gonna try to figure that out
because we've been taught, not directly, but we've been taught like, oh, well, you don't question God, or you don't ask questions, and you don't do this and you don't do that, and God be like, seek ye first the kingdom. Like,
right.
I really want to
literally go against what the fuck we read.
Yeah.
Because the world tells us to seek out logic and not spirituality.
It's powerful, man. It's really powerful.
And that's the thin line. It's so many thin lines, bro.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like a detective show when they had a little red line wrapping around them tacks and shit to connect crimes. It's that type of thin line. It's like, nigga, you will literally forget what you just read because your logical reptilian brain is like, yo, nah, son, the answer got to be somewhere else other than there.
I mean, look, that's the truth.
It ain't there, bro. It's not.
That's there. Why I said, man, if you in a place where it's a bunch of lies, most likely it's a whole lot of motherfucking truth there that just need to be found, man. But you gonna talk yourself out of it. True. You know what I'm saying?
Hell, you can talk yourself out of it. Man, look, I think that's a big issue with people talking themselves out of shit before they even try. It could be a lot of people who want to start something major and then be like, you know what? Nah, fuck that. I'm not.
I don't know why I'm thinking like that anyway.
I think the fear of failing makes you talk yourself out of something, and then that gets you into a point of complacency where you're just comfortable being where you are, even if you hate it. You'd rather hate what you know is solid than to venture off into something unknown.
Hey, check this, D.
If you go to your boss, I'm gonna shoot you and him. him in the head.
You know what I think? I think we are us, that we are the white man's biggest lie ever told.
That makes sense.
I
think I'm going from what you're saying.
We are the truth, right? but it don't want it to be known, right? I was telling my son about this too. I said, you know, the only reason that we are considered the minority is because all colors won't come together as the majority. If we did, we rule the world, right? But we won't do that for some reason because, I mean, hell, we the greatest lie the white man that never told, you know? We the greatest one. I mean, but then on a set, I say, okay, you got that, go back to that chosen and elected, right? I don't say we chosen because we black or brown. I say we chosen because of the simple fact that no matter what them motherfuckers do to us, we still multiply. Like they have brought races down to the level of exterminating. You know, like you is rare. Like you look at Native Americans, man, when they did them, they damn near killed their asses off the earth. But for some reason, every time they took out us and millions of us then died, damn it, it's been millions more of us. Do you ever think of that?
Yeah.
Because we the greatest fucking lie they done ever told. And they killed millions of Jews. Millions of them. And none of them multiplied back the way we do. We come back twice as hard.
And we always dominant.
And we
We got a
always
recessive
dominant.
gene.
Yeah.
Always dominant. You could always see a mixed motherfucker be like, your daddy black or your mama black. It don't even matter. Even if you're albino, you be like, which one of your parents black? You ain't
I mean, just think of that, man.
white.
You know?
It's something to think of. And I don't know, it just plays into this big scheme of, man, like, why is division so important?
It's not
That's a
that
question.
it's
man.
not that it's in okay, that's a complex question because in the mind of us, it shouldn't be, but because of the world we were brought into, it is. If that makes sense. It's like the structure. If the world was us, it wouldn't be, color wouldn't be important. Division wouldn't be important. If people thought like we thought, that wouldn't be important. But because of generations ahead of us in the race and the world that we were born into, it's already planted.
Yes.
But the thing that differentiates us is that we notice and we recognize that it shouldn't be because of the things that we are afforded to have and the knowledge that we were able to gain was not necessarily the knowledge that our people who were brought over here even had the ability to do and live. You see what I'm saying? Back in the gap, if you knew how to read, you died.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's niggas who can read or listen or write or do anything with any word, and they still would rather just smoke pot and shit.
That's weird because the other side of that statement is if you were caught reading English,
Right.
we could always read and write. It just went English.
Right. Exactly.
So it's kind of like they didn't want you. Yeah, they didn't want you to learn their system and to learn their system disprove their theory that you were dumb and the only thing that you could do was working.
I like that word.
It's strategic. I don't want. Okay,
like that word.
look. I'm a strategist.
I like that
okay?
word.
All right. So strategically,
And that
now,
word.
I'm not going to let you learn what my plan is. You know what I'm saying? You don't have no choice in that. I can't let you learn because if I let you learn, then the lie is exposed.
True.
So, okay, like I said, we don't even homework Lucifer and we should because okay, if that's an adversary and I'm a strategist, then I need to be strategic about learning about my enemy. If he really my enemy. But he's not my enemy. You know what I'm saying? So that's a bunch of bullshit.
Let me piggyback on it, okay? Because as far as we go, as far as they like to teach anyway, they'd always like to start at 1619 or whenever Columbus came over. You know, 1492. They always like to start there. But I
that line, motherfucker,
way further, right? So strategically, strategy, all those words that y'all used, I liked. So it's like, okay, systems. That is why we are where we are, because systems and infrastructures were placed way before we were even thought of in the left nut. And swammed out. Systems
Exactly.
the place to where everything that we see now as fucking insane, because it just don't even make sense of why it dominates the way it is. They had systems in their mind in place. Kawaski brought up a good point when he said it wasn't necessarily that it was language, it was their language. Not that we didn't have our own system. It just was, they didn't want us to learn their system. And when we learned their system, then it was like, oh, nigga, so you trying to come up. Let me cut this nigga down or put fear. So like 400 years of that gives you a hell of a head start. It's just like if you had a year of not paying bills, you have a hell of a head start. You see,
that's why I say
1 year.
Okay, I'm gonna piggyback off you now,
So
D.
that makes sense to why we are where we are, because of the system and the infrastructure that you pulling all these people, which might play a role in why they came and got us specifically.
Exactly. Now
Because we had our own system, and they knew if they brought us over here, we wouldn't get their system, and if we tried, they would kill us.
you know what? Look, I know we all close to this wrap up, right?
Oh yeah, you
But
see it?
okay, this is the thing, right? I always say, and we talked about this in another episode of this podcast, how you can't beat their system. You have to create your own. We got to bring our system back. We can't keep letting them define us. What if all of us stood up and was like, we don't know black people? You know what I'm saying? That you can't use that against us. Right? What if we was that strategic, that color, we eliminated it right off. We started eliminating everything that they didn't put in to oppress us into our own system.
I think you would probably have to reverse that. Not that you don't know black people, but you don't.
But think
anybody else but black people, because they still know black people. So
but we got enough. I'm saying to the point of where you can't work in my mind like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got enough millionaires and billionaires right now that if we wanted to go and buy land of our own, we can go fucking buy land of our own and do what we do.
But they won't do it.
You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I get 100% what you're saying, but realistically, it would be not that we don't know black people. It would be we only know black people. And then that's how you would take over. It wouldn't be we don't know color. It would be, nigga, we only know one.
Okay, like we always talk about the word niggas, right? We know that niggas in the African language was kings and right. That was kings and queens. Okay. Not the nigga that they pertained to here. We know in like Spanish, Negro is black. It's just the term for color, that color. You know what I'm saying? But like KO was saying, you get here and you twisted everything into their system where that becomes hate or oppression. Those things that's not in a different system is different. Same wording, but different.
And that's a problem too, because conforming to their system in order to progress.
I love that word, conforming. That's what I'm saying.
It actually made us forget our culture.
Yeah.
And where we came from.
Of course.
We had to conform in order to survive in their shit. So we completely forgot our structure and our system.
We lost our identity.
We lost all that in order to survive in a land that wasn't known to us. And that's a big problem. That's the biggest, that's it. That's the motherfucking pinpoint. You're detached. Our people, we are detached from our truth.
That's it.
We slowly finding it in generation after generation, but there's still so much we have not tapped into.
Right.
So it's like, if I ask you, what did you worship before Jesus? That's a hard question for a lot of people to answer. Actually, it's offensive. If you ask anybody at the age of 50 and up, they will cuss you the fuck out. Might disown your ass because you're asking them, What did you worship before Jesus? Get out my
Oh,
house.
they ain't about to talk about none of the shit we talking about tonight.
So it's like, what did you do before then?
Nigga, what? Lucifer?
How did
What?
you live before then? What language how did you speak before English? How
Right.
did you live before these? You know what I'm saying? All of that you have to research, and it's out there. That's the blessing that we have in this day and age. The information is there. Back in our day, you had to use encyclopedias at your grandma and your granddad's house. We didn't have Google, but it was still there. And now with Google, everything is there. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that you can't tap into, nigga. You can go on YouTube and figure out how to fucking like build a bomb or make a baby out of scrap metal and duct tape.
Yeah, losing sight of that cultural heritage is always for the detriment of the people as a whole, and I mean that worldwide. Anytime you get kind of like this global system of people that think and believe the same way, it always ends in destruction. So always some kind of really big cataclysm that comes and kind of just resets everything.
Yeah.
And it's sad because we're seeing this kind of overtake of the Western way. And it's funny that they even call it the Western way of doing things, and it's a big kickback. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Other cultures just saying like enough. Like we've bought into this way of life for this long because of you couldn't be on the market unless you spoke English or had a representative that spoke English or did the U.S. dollar trade or whatever. It's becoming this new Roman Empire, and every empire must collapse.
Hey, KO, what you said, right? Because I know we're about to wrap up, but exactly what you just said, man. Now that's why we got COVID here.
Yeah,
Wiping out every motherfucking thing. It's doing its job. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
That's exactly why it's here right now.
Agreed.
I agree with that. But one of my biggest things is, you know what? I think it's time for the takeaway moment. This is when each one of us gives something that we want people to take away from this episode. So I'm gonna start with the guest, my man.
Please.
Kawaski. If you had one message you wanted to give to the audience to take away from this episode, what would it be?
That's tough. Always find yourself in a place to where you accept resistance. Nobody gets stronger without resistance.
I like that.
I like that.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, I like that.
Where you at, big dog? Kung Fu Panda. What you got for me?
I mean, look, I'm on my MLK tonight, man. Look, it's not by the color of my skin, but the content of my character. Meaning, hey, let your character be heard. Your character is a creator. Every character you play, and them all the roles in your life, it need to be noticed. You know what I'm saying? It need to be something that's gonna be impactful on the world. Because you creating when you in your character, and that's what people need to see more than the color of your skin or anything that could oppress you.
Got it. If
That's
it's me, I had to tell somebody, okay, first off, do your fucking research. That's the first thing I would say.
Yeah.
Research. If you really want to know where you supposed to be, research where you come from. Where you come from, not where books tell you started. Go deeper. Because even you have to take into consideration, even if we have a billion billionaires over here, right? They have all conformed to this way of life. So they are still detached from culturally bringing us up as one, because that's not the system. Learn your system. That's the big point I want to. Systems. If I have anything for you to take away from with this thin line episode, understand everything is a yin and a yang to everything. So what you think is love and hate is balance. It's always balance. It wouldn't even exist if it wasn't.
Right.
But you need to learn the system that you're in. And then you need to learn the system that you come from and figure out how to connect the two, combine the two, and build up. Damn it, Learn your systems. And on that note, we're going to do the good old bird salute. You should know it by now, guys. Up to it, down to it. Fuck those who don't do it. We do it because we used to it. Drink, motherfucker, drink. Big ups to our special guest tonight.
Big ups.
Yes,
sir.
Clap it up, brother. And right. He just had a beautiful daughter. Well, he did.
Oh, man.
The
Yeah.
woman did. Kawaski is a motherfucking uncle. Big up to that shit.
Yes, sir.
Album pictures in
The fucking life. And she got them jaws, so I know it's good. She got the cheeks, boy. It's a rap, nigga.
Yeah.
On that note, we will catch y'all next Friday, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, same motherfucking channel. It don't change. Okay? Keep love in your heart. Smile on your face, love in your heart. Be blessed. Stay focused, stay disciplined, stay dope.
Stay dope.
Take us on home, Red.
I never saw the sun shining so bright. I never saw the moon with so much light. Bluebird singing in the trees.
Yeah, she had to stop
Nothing
it.
but the